Good morning everyone, I am Lindsay and welcome to Rented Space. Thank you for joining me on this not so sunny Saturday. I've just got my cup of tea. I've been up already for a couple of hours but done some cleaning and some washing. You know how it is when you work full time. So now I am going to make Anzac slice. I am using this video as my challenge. So please bear with me. I am trying my best. I have a few little things that I'm doing today. So one, I'll just pull it off the wall. I have a script. Oh look, I almost said it. I said it. Okay. This is going to be an not unscripted because I do have a bit of a script, but it's going to be an unedited video. The only time I'm going to actually edit it is just so that you're not sitting here for 20 minutes while the Anzac slice is cooking. I will finish the video, put it in the oven and finish the video, and then once it comes out I will continue filming, putting those together. However, I will not actually edit out any of my ums. This is my learning curve, so please thank you for joining me again today. If you like what I'm doing, hit the like button. If you would like to see more of my videos, then please subscribe. Please comment. I haven't really got any comments yet. I had one person comment and apparently it disappeared. I don't know. But please comment. It helps me. If you tell me things to do or what you do and don't like, what I can and can't improve, like what I could improve on, then that's going to help my videos. So thank you again for joining me and enjoy a cup of tea with me while we make some Anzac slice. So I am actually going to do a double batch. It doesn't last very long in this house with 3 teenagers and a husband. So I am going to make it in a big container, big tray, which I will. So here, and I'll just cover that in parchment. You can use, I find parchment easier. It tends to come out of my trays a little better. I did it again, but however, it's up to you. I grease it and then I use the parchment paper or baking paper, depending on where you're from. I've worked in wholesale, so they call it parchment paper. So first thing I'm going to do is 2.5 cups of rolled oats. So that's 1. A bit too much, that's 2. Now the handy thing about this one is I can push the middle and it makes it a 1/2 cup. So that is my rolled oats. Next is my plain flour. Again, it's another 2.5 cups. I'll do the 1/2 cup first, seeing I've still got it there. Just pop it out. There you go. Too much again. 1. You'll have to excuse that noise in the background. I do have my dishwasher going. I've already been doing some cooking and cleaning this morning, so next, I need 2 cups of packed brown sugar. I'm just going to get a spoon. Probably would have been useful to do that with the others too, wouldn't it? I actually want to get, these are all old Moccona jars. When we first moved here, we had been living in a caravan for a while because we were getting ready to build a house back where we used to live. Circumstances changed and we didn't end up building that house, but while we were living in the caravan, it meant that we kind of got rid of everything that wasn't necessary. So to start again, I got free Moccona jars from everywhere. And I do actually like them. However, for things like this, when you need a cup, you can't fit it in the mouth of the jar, which means you end up dirtying another dish. So that isn't always the best, but that's okay. It's recycling, isn't it? Reducing, reusing, recycling, and to be honest, I got them all for free, so that was even better. Alright, so that's my 2 cups of brown sugar. I will just put the lid on and move that out of the way. And next is 2 cups of shredded coconut. I might actually try from this side. It is a different spoon too. I'm not using the brown sugar spoon. I don't need to contaminate or cross-contaminate my containers. Alright, almost there. There we go, there's one. And I might just, because that's taking too long, 2. Okay, so we have, like I said, 2.5 cups of rolled oats, 2.5 cups of plain flour, the 2 packed cups of brown sugar, and the 2 cups of shredded coconut. The next thing is we're going to use, we need 300 grams of butter, and we need golden syrup. So we do have to melt those on the stove. Now I'm also going to, while we're doing that, I am going to boil the kettle, so please be warned that that will, better make sure there's water in there. Yeah, there's enough. So I just have my chopping board here, and I will move that over so we can see. That's 300 grams of butter. Now I've just had it sitting on my chopping board for a little while so that it softened up. Now I don't really have to cut it too small, it just helps though to make it melt a little bit quicker. So into my pot, without cutting myself or smashing my knife on my pot would be nice, wouldn't it? Now there is a trick to cutting butter. If you use a hot knife, that does make it just slide off that little bit easier. And I probably should have thought about that before I started cutting, but anyway. So in the pot we're putting the 300 grams of chopped butter. And again, you don't necessarily have to chop it. I chop it because I find that it does, like I said, melt quicker. And if I can do something slightly quicker, I'm going to do it. Okay. I'll just get a spoon. So, on the stove, make sure I do the right one. Turn the gas on. Now, like I said, that's just got to melt. So we are going to melt the butter. Now, if you use golden syrup, it does need to melt. I'm actually using maple syrup, and the reason I'm using that is because that's what I have on hand. I've had it for a while too, so I thought instead of going and buying golden syrup just for this, I would use what I already had. Now it is 4 tablespoons of the golden syrup / maple syrup in my case. So I'm just going to melt that butter majority of the way before I add the maple syrup. Purely because the maple syrup isn't thick like golden syrup and it doesn't have to melt as much. In my jug over here, I'm going to get 4 tablespoons of boiling water. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is that. We'll just quickly, while that's melting. I'll also give this a quick stir. Make sure all my ingredients are if there's any clumps of the brown sugar, because that tends to, especially after you've packed it in, it does tend to stick together. Just break those up. Okay. Alrighty, so that's all mixed up. The butter is almost melted. There's still a few big chunks in there, so it won't be long. In the water, we also are going to add the bicarb. So it is 1 tablespoon of the bicarb. That we'll wait for the butter to be melted and the golden syrup, the maple syrup to be in there. I might just start putting that in because that butter is almost ready. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just quickly rinse it. And I just thought, for all of you pure Aussies out there, yes, I know it should have been golden syrup, but I'm using what's in my cupboard rather than buying new stuff. So I didn't want to buy golden syrup just for the Anzac slice. When it comes to Anzac Day, yes, I do it properly, but it's not Anzac Day yet, so I will do a bit of a cheat and use what's in my pantry. Okay. So just mix that around. Now once this is actually ready, I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, you can turn that off now. So we are going to put a tablespoon, dry tablespoon, of bicarb. A bit more into the hot water. Mix that around. Pour that into the butter syrup mixture, and it will start to give you a bit of a foam. So that's what you want. I'm just going to move the chopping board. I won't put it on a hot stove, that's not a good idea. Okay, so I have made a bit of a well in the middle. Now I'm going to pour all of this into there. Am I doing better today? I have got a few in there, haven't I? But I've picked myself up, which is actually a really good thing. Sometimes when I'm with my earlier videos, I haven't even noticed until I've gone to look into them, and I'm like, oh, that is ridiculous how many times I say it. So, I should have actually taken that out. But anyway. So now we are going to mix these around. Mix the wet into the dry. It's funny, you know, when I was younger, I used to make these every Sunday with my mum. And if I wasn't making Anzac biscuits or cupcakes, I was making Yorkshire puddings because my mother was Scottish, my dad's English. And the other thing I used to make a lot was sherbet. Oh, I love sherbet, especially when I was young. So my mum used to let me, once a month, I'd buy all the ingredients to make up a big batch of sherbet, and that was mine for the month. And if I run out, well, I run out. Just FYI, I get a little bit hypo on sherbet. But it's so much cheaper to make it yourself. You buy the pre-made packets, and they're only little, which is probably a good thing because it does limit how much you can eat, but they're only small, but they're quite expensive when you think about it. Considering the two main ingredients are baking powder and bicarb of soda. Might have to do sherbet one day. Okay, so it is all in there, like so. So we'll get our tray, make a bit of room. If I can break it. Does anyone else fight with parchment and glad wrap and foil the way I do? Please tell me I'm not the only one who fights with it. Okay. So, I know I keep running away, don't I? Okay, so I'm just going to try and cut some of the excess off, just so it doesn't burn. There you go. Like that. Oh. Now the oven should have been preheated to 180 to 180 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Celsius if you have a fan force oven. I did have it on. Clearly one of my children have been in and have turned it off. So I will now put this into the tray, and I will stop the video and I will come back once I take it out of the oven and I will show you the end result. So let's get this on the tray so you can see it. Oh, I didn't mix the bottom very well, did I? Just give the bottom a bit of a better mix. I'm losing my parchment. Just trying to put the last of it where it's not overly thick. So one thing I like about these silicone spoons is they're not very strong, but they really clean up your bowl. Might actually use. Okay. Just flatten it down. Now again, this is the Anzac slice, it's not the biscuits. In our household, we like the Anzac biscuits when they're really chewy, and I find that the slice just helps keep it that chewiness. How do you prefer? Do you prefer crunchy Anzac biscuits, or do you prefer them when they're sort of still a bit soft and pliable? Drop a comment in, tell me how you prefer your Anzac biscuits. Tell me if you're from another country and you don't eat Anzac biscuits. Like, I know in Australia and pretty sure New Zealand they're a common thing, they're everywhere. But I don't know if there are other countries. If you're from anywhere else, Even I don't even know if England does them. Isn't that funny? I think I'd know with my ancestry, but no. So let me know. Please drop it in the comments. Let me know. Okay, so there we go. That is my slice. It's to go in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. However, my oven tends to be over. Nothing cooks. Actually, nothing cooks in my oven the way it's supposed to. If it says 40 minutes, often it'll be 50 minutes. If it says 30 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. So I always set my timer for 10 minutes before whatever time a recipe tells me if I'm trying something new. And so I'm going to put it in for 15 minutes. I'll set a timer, then I'll take it out, I'll have a look at it, and if not, I'll set it for another few minutes. But I'm stopping this video here. I'm going to put this in the oven, and I've just said it again. That's number 3 that I've picked up. So I will put it in the oven, turn off the video, and I will come back and join the video once I have taken it out of the oven. I'll see you soon. Hi everyone, I'm back. And with my slightly darkened Anzac slice. So it is cooked. Like I said about my oven, it's a finicky thing. The fan force part wasn't working, so it wasn't cooking, so I turned it up a little bit. This was in for 10 minutes at 160. So yes, I probably about 5 minutes in actually, because I noticed that the fan force wasn't working, so I turned it from 160 up to about 170, and then I heard the number 4. I heard the fan kick in, so I went to check on it to turn it back down, and this was it. I have actually lifted up the bottom, and I can see that it is cooked all the way through. However, you do leave it in the tray until it is fully cooled, and then you cut it into slices. So thank you for joining me today on my slightly not so successful, but don't worry, we will eat that. It doesn't bother us. So thank you very much for joining us. Again, if you have any comments, please leave them down below, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.